Everybody, my name is Ahmed. Today is day 6 of my SMMA journey from 0 to 10k per month. A lot of stuff happened today. Not that much stuff, but regardless, I took a little bit of action. Let me just get straight into it. I sent out, I think, 90 emails. 20 of them were follow-ups. Not 20 of them, sorry, 60 of them were follow-ups. 30 of them were just sent out to new prospects. The amount of emails that I'm sending to new prospects is really getting limited, and this is the reason as to why this is because you can only send so many emails per prospect, right? So like if you watch some videos, people say that 30 emails per account is the limit, so that's why you got to keep it at that, right? Anyways, 90 emails, 40 cold calls. I could have done way more, and I think I'm gonna be prioritizing cold calls a lot more because I think they're yielding much better results, not only in terms of conversations but in terms of report building, that type of stuff. I actually have some ideas which link cold call and cold email together. I'm not gonna say because I'm gonna be gatekeeping this whole entire series until I get to 10k per month and I can spill all the beans for you guys. But anyways, 40 cold calls, right? By the time I got to my 28th cold call, I think it was 28. I met some guy. He's a really straightforward guy, very hyper guy, blah blah blah. And pretty much he's like, okay man, I'll give you 30 seconds. I'm like, okay. And then I start paraphrasing whatever I have to say for my script, because my script takes like 50 seconds to say, right? So then I paraphrase this, so then I can be sending like 10-20 seconds, blah blah blah. And he's like, and then even when I was like trying to like tell him, bro, like this guy was trying to be like very straightforward. He's like, okay, you're doing this, how are you doing that? And then I was like trying to explain it through my script. He's like, no, okay, so you're doing like this, and how are you doing this? I'm like this. And then he just makes me go through my own, like his own framework in his head that he wants me to go through. And essentially what he ends up saying at the end is like, okay man, if everything that you said is true, I'm freaking sold. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you're sold, and blah blah blah. And then he's like, you want to talk about this some other time? And then I'm like, yeah, let's talk about it some other time. I'm like matching his energy, and like I was matching his energy a little bit. I'm not trying to be too much of like a submissive guy, so that I'm like he's the alpha and I'm matching his energy like that. But I was just trying to match his vibe or whatever, and I was trying to sound just as confident as he was when he was on the call, right? So anyways, he did all of that. He's like, yo, let's go talk another call, man. I'm like, yeah, let's do it, man. He's like, you want to do it over Zoom? I'm like, yeah, man, let's do it over Zoom. Even though Zoom, I forgot, I don't really use Zoom. I use Google Meet, but it's all good. Anyways, he's like, let's do it over Zoom, man. And then he's like, you want my phone number? And then I'm like, yeah, sure, man. He's like, give me some phone number. He was located in Colorado. That's where his business is located, but his phone number was from Chicago, which is kind of weird. He probably operates from there. But anyways, he's like, he gave me his phone number. I was like, freak, man, I don't know the last 4 digits. He's like, 5414. I don't actually know if those are his last digits, but whatever. But yeah, so pretty crazy experience. And I got my adrenaline running like crazy. And I think I'm getting the ball rolling now, and I'm going to be focusing on cold calls a lot more. Especially, bro, because cold emails, they are very draining on my energy. Cold emails are actually shallow work. So I'm reading this one book. I actually have it right here, even though I took it from the library and it's freaking overdue. But it's called Deep Work right here. And pretty much in this book, the guy talks about deep work and shallow work. Shallow work is stuff like checking your emails, checking your social media, that type of stuff for business purposes, right? And shallow work doesn't really need that much energy to be done. So shallow work in the end actually kind of rots your brain. It kind of gives you brain rot in a way. I don't like to say brain rot, so let me just use brain damage. It gives you brain damage in a way, right? And it really doesn't really help you to focus. It doesn't really help your dopamine levels to go lower. Deep work, on the other hand, is enjoyable. Deep work is work that actually takes a lot of like mental capacity to do, and it's actually enjoyable once you actually do it. But shallow work, on the other hand, isn't enjoyable. So it's kind of this, like, what I was trying to get to was emails are not enjoyable because they're shallow work. Cold calls are enjoyable because they're deep work. Even though you're talking with a bunch of people, your attention's all over the place, you need to be confident, blah blah blah, and be very happy, blah blah blah. Like, you know how it is. It is still, in my opinion, I would consider it deep work because you're really locking in to just dial as many numbers as you can, and also be as quality of a person when you're talking to those people on those dials as well, right? So anyways, I just hate cold emailing. Cold calling is pretty fun, but it can be a bit nerve-wracking at the start. My advice for you guys would be, especially if you're trying to start, just do it for one day, man. just go crazy on that one day, and then just think to yourself, listen, I just got to do this for one day, and then after this it's going to become so much easier. And that's like exactly what I did, right? So last time I cold call was like Wednesday. My energy, my motivation, that all went down, right? And now come Monday, my motivation is back at ground zero. So then I was like thinking to myself, listen, I just got to get through today, and then I can get the ball rolling once again. Exactly what I did. And tomorrow I should be good. I'll have no fear cold calling. I'll be very energetic, very happy to talk to a bunch of people, and very happy to be dialing as many numbers as possible. I know I did 40 cold calls today, but tomorrow my goal is, uh let's see, my tomorrow should be 100 cold calls. Listen, 40 cold calls, the things that a bunch of those guys picked up, a bunch of those guys were willing to engage in a conversation because my pitch is so good. Also, I was gonna mention this as well, but yeah, so a bunch of people out of the 40 cold calls, probably like 20 of them, 28 of them picked up, and I was actually talking to them or a gatekeeper. Half of the time I was talking to the owner, and half the time of me talking to the owner, I was able to pitch them. I actually have kind of a conversation with them. So those 40 cold calls actually took a pretty long time to do, even though I could have maybe done maybe 80 cold calls if I really wanted, but it is what it is, right? Anyways, I talked to a guy. I got some very valuable information about my niche. Pretty much what he was saying was that my offer has never actually been used in the niche before, and also my pitch is the best pitch that he's ever heard out of that niche. My niche is very hit, bro. My niche is very saturated, probably one of the most saturated niches out there, right? So if I can get this type of response in literally one day of cold calling, imagine, a whole month. Imagine the kind of the results that I would be getting, right? And imagine more than 40 calls because like I'm only doing 40 right now. Imagine 100 cold calls, right? Imagine what kind of results that would have, and imagine how much of a better salesperson I would be then, right? So anyways, I have an appointment tomorrow at 10 a.m., right? So the thing is that with the people in my niche, I've really noticed this because I've booked a bunch of appointments, but pretty much these guys have a very hard time showing up. So you actually need to be able to follow up with them a lot. And I actually didn't really get any of these guys' socials. My social media is actually, to my mistake, it's not really kind of laid out in a way that could make me look kind of credible right now. Because I barely have any friends on Facebook, which is pretty sad, man. You guys gotta add me. You know what I'm saying? So I was gonna follow up with him on over there, send him a bunch of videos just to follow up and get him to show up to the meetings. But I can't even do that. I try to follow up with him on email, send him the link through the email. Turns out his email on his Facebook doesn't actually work. It's out of service for some reason. And then I try to just send him a message through his number. But turns out I probably sent it to the wrong number because he gave me his other number. So I just gotta be going crazy with following up with him tomorrow on his main number, which is from Chicago area code. I gotta be sending him the Zoom meeting there, and everything over there. So yeah, another thing is that I'm afraid that the Zoom meeting might take a very long time and it might end because of the Zoom child stupid stuff. So I'm just gonna try to get it done as soon as possible so then I can actually keep talking to this guy, because he said literally, if what you were saying is true, I'm literally sold. I mean, what more do I need, right? I just need this guy to show up to the meeting now, and then I think it should be all sunshines and rainbows from there. But you never know. Anyways, that was day 6. I hope you guys are having a great day. I guess I'll see you tomorrow. I will, because I'm committing to this. Peace.